Hey, it's Andrew Brown from ExamPro, and in this follow along, what we're going to do is take a look at CosmosDB. So what I want you to do is go to the top here and type in CosmosDB, and we'll go here and add a new CosmosDB account. And notice that we have some options. We have SQL, Mongodb, Cassandra, Gremlin, Azure Tables. So what I want to do, I'm going to be pretty crazy here. I'm going to make a new core SQL one, and so we'll just say under here, I'll say Cosmo DP900 CosmosDB. Okay, and I'm just going to call this one CosmosDB Core SQL. And just to be more, you can say DP900 here. I don't know if this one conflicts with other ones. So we have provision, throughput, and serverless. I'm going to choose serverless because I don't need provision throughput. And there is a free tier here, but I'm going to go with serverless, okay? Just so we don't have to worry about it. We got a lot of options here like global distribution, etc., like that. I don't care about any of that stuff. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and hit review and create. Okay. And we're going to repeat this process again and again. So what I'm going to do is go back to CosmosDB, create a new account, and we'll create a MongoDB one now. And we'll drop this down and we'll choose CosmosDB. I think I called it DP900 CosmosDB. So this will be DP900 CosmosDB MongoDB. The name's not available. You'll just have to change it till you get it. I'm going to make this one serverless as well. And we'll hit review and create. So I just want to show you the variants of these ones, okay? So this is a little bit of annoying, but it's just what we have to do. We'll add another one here. This one will be Azure Table. We'll drop it down. We'll choose DP900 CosmosDB. We'll say CosmosDB. We'll say DP900 CosmosDB. Azure Table. Serverless. Go ahead and review and create. And we'll create that. And we'll go one more time. We'll do a graph database, okay? Oops. Doesn't want us to go back. And we'll say Gremlin. And we'll choose our DP900, DP900, CosmosDB, Gremlin. Okay, serverless, review and create. And we'll go back to here. And I'm just going to wait until these are all done. So I'll see you back when we see all of our, I think we made four of our CosmosDBs, okay? All right, so after waiting a little while here, actually my Gremlin database didn't create, or my account didn't create, so I had to make that twice, but here they are, and you can see this one is still creating, but we can go and do some things while we're waiting. First, let's go check out the core SQL. And so on the right-hand side, you'll see there's this quick start. It's always a great way to get started. So if we wanted to, in Azure, we could start inserting data. So if I was to go over to Node.js and we say create items container, this is what I'm the most familiar with. Now, a lot of people will go over to the Explore data, but I'm just curious as to what this stuff looks like. So, because I've never used the quick starts before, so I'm just curious to see the quality of it. So let's go ahead and create that items container. Right now, I think it's just waiting to create. So if I go over to that Data Explorer tab, it's probably just going through that process of creating it. So it actually created us a to-do list, which is nice. Okay, and it set up a partition key. And oh, looks like it's done. So now we can go ahead and download that application. It says npm install, npm start. It's kind of cool. And I have it over here, so I just got to unzip it. Okay, so I'm just unzipping that here, choosing WinRAR. That's what I got installed. And we'll just drag that on over here. And I wonder, we'll go up here. Now, you may or may not be able to easily open this depending on how your setup of your computer is. So if you can't, you can just follow along here. I'm opening up Visual Studio Code here. You just can't see it's off screen. But I just want to close some things in here. Okay. And I'm just going to go open. Just going to go here, File, Open Folder. And this is in my downloads. So I'm going to navigate all the way to my downloads here. So we'll say, this is users, Andrews. If you want to see me, I'm just writing this over here, downloads, SQL, and we'll say OK. And what we'll do is open up a new terminal here. And the instructions said that we should be able to do npm install, npm start. So we'll give that a go. We'll say npm install. And we might as well take a look here at the code, just curious what's going on here. So it's actually using the Azure's CosmosDB client. It has a config file over here, which contains our configuration information. Looks like it has some initial items that it's going to insert. So there's some initial data, which looks kind of cool. It sets up a partition key here. We have an endpoint. So what it does, create the database if it does not exist, read the database definition, create the container if it does not exist, read the container, scale the container, create family item, query the container. So there's a lot of examples here. So here it just gives you some stuff. So, you know, if you know your coding and you want to go through this, it's a great way to get started, it looks like. Finished installing, we'll do an npm start. I don't know if I'll be able to actually view this because it's running through a machine. Oh, so it just runs it. Okay. I thought I was going to like output a like a localhost 3000, you could view it. So it actually just ran that stuff. So created the to-do list, reading, created, etc. So yeah, all of it's there. So if you're familiar with that, you can take a look. But what we'll do now is make our way over to Data Explorer. We can also go up to Cosmos. Was it cosmos.azure.com? Is that what it is? There we go. And this has a little bit more room. I'm going to click on Sign In. It's the same thing as the Data Explorer, just a little bit easier to work with. Subscription 1. And we are in SQL here. We'll drop it down. Now we actually have some data we can take a look at. So we'll go to items, check out items here. And it should show us some, right? Go back here. It says first name, etc. So you can see that it created the to-do list, reading the database, created the items, reading. Oh, completed with an error. Entity with the specified ID does not exist in the system. Okay, so it's expecting something to already exist there, and that's why it couldn't run. So maybe what we'll do is just go ahead and create what it wants. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and create a new item. So the partition key is called partition key. That's a very uncreative name, but when you create these records, you always have to have the ID and the partition key name. So I'll go here and we'll type in partition key. And I guess it could just be whatever we want. I'm just looking at the record here to see what they wrote. So we just scroll up here. We are looking for create item. Just scroll up here, see if we can find it. This is more like reading an item here. I'm not necessarily creating. Partition key @ country USA. So I guess we could just say USA here. Say name, oops, Andrew. Go see if it'll let us create that. We'll go ahead and we'll just copy this. Oops. Place with ID, so we'll just say 1. We'll say save. Okay, and it added some additional data. _STS is for a timestamp. Okay, and now what we can do is go and look at that data. So we'll hit more. Oh, I guess we're exploring it right there. Okay, so let's say we wanted to query that data. We could create a few other records because it's not a lot of information, right? So what I'll do is just copy this. We'll create a new item here. I'm technically not in the USA. I'm in Canada, so we'll put in Vaco here. Just copy that, and we will save. We'll create a new item. They should have been different IDs, but whatever. We'll say Brazil. Put in Roger. And we will go ahead and save. Okay, and so now let's say we wanted to query that data. It should be, these icons are very cryptic. Let's sort procedure. Whoops. Yeah, I guess we could do it right here. No. New SQL query. That's what I want. Okay. So if we hit run, execute query, to return us all the data. But let's say we wanted to only select a subset of data. So we just do where, name, equals Andrew. Let's give that a go. See if that works. Oops. What if we do c.name? There we go. So yeah, it's as simple as writing queries, not like any other kind of SQL. So that's pretty easy. Let's take a look at another one here. So that was that. Let's close that off, and we'll take a look at MongoDB next. All right, let's take a look at MongoDB. So we'll go ahead and click into here, make our way to Quick Start, and we have some options. We have Node.js, so if you wrote JavaScript and use the connection URL, that's one way of doing it. I think MongoDB the shell might be a fun way to do it. So what I'll do is I'll go over here. I don't think I have this installed, but it comes part of the server installation for MongoDB. So I'll go ahead. If you would like to download the Mongo shell separately from server, yeah, that sounds better to me. I don't think I need everything, and so select the zip download, which includes the Mongo. Okay. And well, I guess we'll have to click on the community edition here. Windows. We can do the zip or MSI. Yeah, I guess we'll just install the full thing. It's not a big deal. Maybe I'll use it for something else. But we'll go there. It's only 200 megabytes, so we'll just wait for that to download. Shouldn't take too long here. There we go. And I just got my downloads over here. We'll open that up. Sure, we'll go ahead and hit next. I agree, next. I guess we could customize it. So maybe if we only wanted the client, I'm gonna just take everything. We'll say next. That seems all fine to me. We'll hit next, install. This process is on a Mac or Linux. It's just going to be a different process, but yeah, we'll go ahead and see this here. All right, so after waiting a very long time on that Compass step, it finally finished installing. I guess it was doing a visual installer there. It looks like it is opened. And I guess we installed Mongo Compass, and it makes it really easy. Cool. Sure, we'll say yes to everything there. That was a little bit too much information. But I guess what we can do is establish a connection. And I guess I was thinking we just use the shell, but this looks better. So what we'll do is go ahead and take a look here. So we will go grab our connection string, and hopefully you'll just take it as that. It looks like it's, hold on here. I think what we really want is this string here, connection string. I guess we can grab it from here. It's a bit easier. We'll go back to our connection service here. We'll hit connect. Fingers crossed it works first time. Yeah, there we are. We're in. Okay, cool. So it's a new data, like it's completely new. So I guess we wouldn't have anything in it like a database or anything like that. So what we can do at the same time as we're doing it, let's make our way over to CosmosDB. Oh, I guess I closed it. CosmosAzure.com, and we'll go down and flip over to our MongoDB database. And we haven't created anything yet, so we have to make a new database. So I'll just say my Mongo database or my MongoDB. My collection. You think of a collection as like a table, right? Shared key, whatever we want. My shared key. Again, I'm just showing you how to insert stuff. We don't need this sharded, so we'll just say unsharded, okay? Makes it a bit easier on us here. I just want to see if that actually reflects over here in our MongoDB Compass, because it probably should. We'll give it a moment there to create the database. If it doesn't, what we can do, because there's a reload here, right? So we just hit reload until the data loads. And yeah, it looks like we have it now, so that's all good. And I guess we have to click on this, maybe we click on this one again here to reconnect. Great, now we have a database. So we can go in here, click on my collection, we can add data. I was hoping to execute a command, whoops. And I'm just trying to see if it allows us to do that here in any way. Again, I'm not that familiar with this tool. But yeah, I guess we could go create a document here. We can make it through here. So let's go to Documents. We'll add a new document. Let's say 1. And I guess we should probably put our shared key. So my shared key. We'll just say blue. And we'll just say name. Andrew. And we will go ahead and save that document. We'll go back here, refresh. We can see our document there. We can edit it in here as well. A lot nicer in this, eh? We can add data. We'll say document. This is a little bit more cryptic. I think I prefer to do it in there. Again, I'm not that familiar with this tool, but what I really wanted to show you was the command shell. So what we'll do, oh, it says new shell up here. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I thought we were going to have to, I thought we were going to have to paste this in. So maybe we didn't have to install that all along, but hey, this looks pretty good to me, right? So what I have pulled up here is the API. I had it here a second ago, at least. I'm going to say MongoDB shell. I definitely had it open here for us because I wanted to show you the API. So like there's like right one. Okay, here we go. So I found the MongoDB API here, and if I just go back, it's shell methods. So if you typed in mongodb.com/manual reference methods, you can see all the kind of stuff that we can do. And so let's just go ahead and see if we can insert something. We only need to insert a single document. And so here we kind of see the stuff here. Yeah, underscore ID is the main field there. And what we'll do is scrolling down, and we'll just go ahead and copy this command and see if we can get that to work, okay? So we'll go back over here, give that a paste, hit enter, and we'll go back to our document and see if it's there. There it is. We will go back and check in our MongoDB cluster here, give it a refresh. I want to see, well, it shows 2 records. So what I'll do, yeah, it's not what I want. So we'll try this again. Yeah, I just started typing. It thinks I already have an error. And we want the my shared key. So we'll say my shared key. Okay. Double quotations. We'll say green. And we'll just put in here name. Bako. We'll say insert. Okay, that record is there. We'll give this a refresh here. Whoops. There it is. There's the record as well. It didn't insert the other one I wanted, so we'll go back into our shell here. We'll say db.products. It's probably because if you don't have the partition key, it's just not going to insert it, right? I thought it would error out or say something. That's what I was looking for. So we're going to say ID. We'll say 5. I'm going to put my shared key. We'll say red. And we will put name here, and we'll say Roger. We'll give that a go. And if you don't type it right, it will not work. So we'll say insert 1. There we go. We'll go back to our document here. We'll give it a refresh here. I'm having like no luck doing inserts today. But, you get the general idea, right? So we're not here to really teach you a MongoDB tutorial, but I just want to show you that, you'd use the shell to insert data. There's this tool here and what a document looks like. So that pretty much covers the document MongoDB. So what we'll do, let's go back here and let's take a look at Azure Tables. All right, so let's take a look at CosmosDB Azure Table. So click into it. We'll make our way over to the Data Explorer. And we'll say new table, and I'll just say my new table. Say OK. And we will give it a moment to create this new table here. As you can see, we didn't have to make a database or anything. It was just a lot more straightforward here. But it does seem to take a long time to make a table. To be fair, it is serverless, so it could be having to provision something before it does something. We'll go here, look at entities, and we can go ahead and add ourselves a new entity. Here we go, up the top here. So we'll just say Wharf. Lieutenant Commander, Planet, Kronos, add entity, and there it is. Okay. Go maybe over to the query builder. And if we wanted to filter this out, we could say partition key. I guess we need another record for this to make sense. So we'll say data, Lieutenant Commander. He's not from Earth, but we'll just put Earth. We'll add that entity. We'll add another one, might as well. We'll say Crusher, Commander, Earth. And we can go here and we can just filter it out. So we'll say Crusher. Partition key, yep, that's right. So it should be able to run that. So run query. Okay, gets that exact record. So pretty simple, not too complicated. And so now we'll move on to Gremlin. All right, so let's take a look at CosmosDB Gremlin. So click into it. And what I want you to do is go to Quick Starts. We'll go to Guided Gremlin Tour, and we'll create ourselves a sales graph collection so we get a little bit more information that we normally would have. We'll give it a moment here. And there we go. Yep, it's ready. So we created the sample. This downloaded a package that contains a console app as .NET. The console app needs to be executed first to upload the sample data, and the ASP.NET web app will allow you to visualize your data. Okay, so I guess we have to go ahead and do that. So we'll go ahead and download that. And there it is. I'm just going to unzip it here, and we'll double click into it. And it doesn't look like much, but I'll drag it out into my folder here. Whoops. And we will go and click into this. And I want to know how to use this, so I guess we'll open this up in VS Code. Okay, let's give this a read. Sample application shows to interact with the CosmosDB Gremlin, etc., Visual Studio Code 2015. Sample data has 2 projects. Uploading the sample data is done via the console application, project included in the quick start. Run the console app. All right, so it's saying that we need to go to Tools, and we're going to double click this. And luckily I have Visual Studio installed. If you don't have it installed, you don't have to go do this, but we just want to see a nice looking Gremlin graph in our CosmosDB. And I will go ahead and sign in. And I'll use my ExamPro account. And I guess it really wants me to choose some stuff, but I'm fine. Let's just go ahead and start it. The C# project is targeting .NET, which is not installed in this machine. To proceed, select the option below, change the target. You can change it, sure, as long as it runs, you know? I didn't feel like I was going to be doing .NET today, but we'll go ahead and open this up. All that really matters is that we can run it. Project's loaded and ready to use in the background, and so we need to run this. So it says over here, so verify the settings if you download it, etc. Okay, if the console is run, upload, etc. I just want to run it. Run the application, F5. So I think it's telling me to hit F5 on my keyboard. And so I have a Mac keyboard, so I'm not sure if that's going to work. But what I'll do is I'll go to the top here. Whoops. Might need to install extra components. So we'll go ahead and install whatever components it wants. Just click that over here in the right-hand corner there. It's probably because it needs a very particular version of .NET. Yeah, it needs the .NET desktop development here. Even though I'm not a .NET developer, I still know my way around IDEs pretty darn well. And so we'll go ahead and give that an install. And it looks like it's at 848 megabytes. I'll see you back here in a moment, okay? All right, so after waiting a little while here, it looks like it's installed and restarted. And I think I can actually run the application now. So we'll go at the top here, and we will run, we'll say, it should be like a project run. I guess we just hit the start button. That works too, right? You .NET fans that are watching, you can make as much fun as you want of me, okay? And so, we just want this to run so that it loads the data, right? That's all this thing does. So it's going to build the project. And it's complaining about virus and threat protection. Not really worried about that. And it said it succeeded, verified the database exists, your collection, etc. Uploading the graph now. Excellent. There we go. And we're just going to wait for it to upload those nodes. And we're going to have a really, really good example here, eh? I'm not sure how many nodes there are in this. Could be a lot. There we go. Oh, now it's starting up edges. Great. There's 469 nodes. I wonder if there's going to be as many edges or less. We'll see. There we go. So now it says graph uploaded. You can now shut this application. Okay, sounds great. So what we'll do, and I'll just go ahead and close Visual Studio because I don't need it open anymore. And what we'll do is open up the Data Explorer. Actually, I kind of prefer CosmosDB, so we'll type in CosmosDB again. And we will switch over to our Gremlin database here. And go into Persons, Graph Database. You should be able to see a visualization without well, I guess we could just hit Execute Search Query. Maybe insert it in this one. We'll go ahead and execute it over here. There we go. So now we have some records. So cool. All right, we got that working. And so yeah, this is like that Gremlin language up here. I'm not that familiar with it, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be right back and learn it in 2 seconds, okay? All right, so I'm back, and I learned a little bit here, and what I did was I went to the Apache Gremlin website for Tinkerpop, or Gremlin in particular. So g.v parentheses is when we want to get all records back. If we put in a particular ID here, it should give us a particular result. I also figured out as we move around here, if you scroll into things like this, and you click on there, it will expand the next area, or it should. There it goes. It's a bit slow, right? But, we have an ID here, so let's give it a go and see if it actually works. So we'll do G, V, and let's see if we put that in there like this. We'll give it maybe quotations. They just have the number 1, so I'm not sure what to tell you there. And yeah, so it grabbed that particular point there. It looks like we can grab different values, so I'm assuming that these are values on it here. So maybe we'll just do .values here. Values, what if we give a label here? There we go, service plan. So yeah, it's not that hard. We'll go back here, execute the plan. And then there's like commands like out E. I assume that's the way of like you would select things in the region. So I don't know if like that is a definitive one, but we'll just go ahead and put that in there and see what happens. And we got nothing. Because, we have relationships between other sources, like edges. And so maybe it's based on the label here. So let's try this. Execute the plan. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. But my point is that we populated ourselves a graph. You can tell that that's how you use the language. If you really want to learn more, you can go through the tutorial on how to create that information. But for our purposes, we just wanted to show that we could populate a graph and play around with one there a bit, okay? So that is Gremlin. We did Mongo. We did Azure. So that's all of them. So we're all done here. Again, I'm going to keep these around just in case I want to pull them into other services. And at the end, we will destroy all these resources, okay?